Game week 25. Wow. And I thought game week 24 was bad.
Captain's Pick, the FPL Podcast.
Hello and welcome on board flight episode 26 of Captain's Pick, the FPL Podcast. This is your captain and host speaking, Geoff Willis, and each week I'll be taking flight to talk fantasy Premier League football. You can find the show on a whole host of podcast services. Just search Captain's Pick. And it'd be great if you could leave a review on whatever you listen to the podcast on. It really does make a difference. On today's show, I'll give a quick review of game week 25, talk transfers and my captain's pick, and I'll finish off with a quick preview of game week 26. But first as ever, a quick shout out to the half-season Community League, which started scoring back in game week 20 and was set up to raise money and awareness for Cancer Research UK. So I wanted just to give a couple of shout outs in the top 10. First of all, friend of the show, Digby, who scored an amazing 100 points and is just cracked into 10th spot in the league. He actually transferred in Aguero and triple captained him. So it was an amazing move. Pleased for him, obviously. Although in our mini league, where I had about 20-point advantage on him in first place, I've now dropped second place and he's gone ahead by about 30 points. So the rivalry is alive. Secondly, and another shout out, same as last week, to a friend of the show, Mark. He scored an impressive 92 points, and in our mini league, he also passed me into the number one spot. So I'm second in those two mini leagues now. But plenty of weeks to go, and he went up to second in the half-season Community League. So great week for him. And then thirdly, in top spot with an amazing 110-point game week is Edric Lusungu. He's number one in the league. And amazingly, he did 5 transfers, took a minus 16-point hit. But if you take that off, he still scored a 94 points. And he used his bench boost, which was unbelievable because he had Pogba and Laporte on there, scoring a total of 27 points. And he still managed to hit that target, and he captained Sane. So it was, imagine if he'd captained Aguero, it would have been sort of the 140s, 150s. Amazing performance from Edric. Okay, so let's have a little look at how my team did in game week 25, if we really do need to. I scored a game week rank of 52 points, which was 13 points below the average of 65, which left me on overall points of 1,449, but unfortunately a 90k drop to 265k. So not a great week. That's 2 weeks in a row, 2 big red arrows I've had. And just coming out the Christmas period into January, it's just, and even into February now, it's not been going good for me at all. I think since pre-Christmas, I've got up to about 70k before Christmas, and I've dropped, 200k places since then. And not doing anything too bad. I think I've been making sensible moves, not making too many points hits, not making too many risky captain choices. I think that's just the way the game goes. So in game week 25, I had Fabianski in goal, got me 3 points. Robertson 2 points. Wan-Bissaka, who was one of my transfers in, got 5 points. Although I transferred him in for Alonso, who got a clean sheet, 6 points. So I dropped a point there, but that's okay. That's fine. Doherty getting points as well with an assist. He's just been absolutely brilliant since I've brought him in. Salah, disappointing 2 points, but didn't have the captain armband on him at least. Richarlison, again, saved himself last week, and now he's back. Back on the thin ice again. Hazard, we all knew it was going to happen. I said it on the pod. If you're going to get rid of him before Huddersfield at home, expect to be trolled. And of course, what did he do? Come in with 2 goals, bonus points, total of 15 points. Just a shame I didn't captain him, but was never bringing in a Man City player and captain him was always my plan. And Pogba got me 7 points. Again, keeps on the points coming in. But of course, I brought in Sane for Felipe Anderson. Those were my two free transfers. Captain Sane, and of course, he didn't play in the first game and got brought off on the 59th minute in the second for a total of 2 points. What a calamity. All the reasonings beforehand were sensible. Still a sensible pick. It was just the fact that if you'd gone for Aguero, all Sterling, you'd done much better. Even Laporte at the back. I could have brought in Laporte for Aguero and still brought in Sane. So that would have, again, boosted me up, at least got me up to the average game week score. But there we are. These things happen, and you just got to have to move on. Rashford at least getting 7 points for me, which is brilliant. And then Ings rounding off pretty poor game week by me starting him for the first time in a while and him coming off injured after 26 minutes. So it was just the 1 pointer from him. Not much more to say, really. It was just one of those game weeks, really. I definitely dropped places, several reasons. If we go through some of the games, Spurs winning 1-0, Son getting that late goal, a mistake from Newcastle. Obviously, I don't have Son, so that definitely was a bit of a rank killer. Not sure how many people would have captained Hazard. Higuain getting 2 goals in that match, and Luiz getting a goal. So would have potentially dropped a few places there, but at least I had Hazard, so that wasn't. I was quite happy I kept with him. Getting clean sheets from Palace, so that was good for me. And unfortunately, Wolves beating Everton 3-1. It's great to get points from Doherty, but of course, Digne was suspended, so he was on my bench. And Richarlison delivering nothing. Just so disappointing. We go on to the Sunday games. Man United getting that 1-0 victory. It was good. Again, nice little assist and goal from Pogba and Rashford. They're really dovetailing well for me. But then it was the Sunday afternoon game. City at home to Arsenal. 3-1 to City. Aguero with all 3 goals. Sterling 2 assists. A Laporte assist. Wow. If you had Aguero, fair play to you. It was, as I said last week, never really in my plans. Thought there was too much risk around rotation. Ended up he played both games. Hat-trick. A lot of people captained him. Say mini-league rivals triple captained him. That just absolutely killed my rank. And it's going to take quite a bit now to get back into that top 100k. I still think it's doable. Plenty of game weeks to go and double game weeks and blanks to navigate in the next few weeks. But it was disappointing. Gutted for Sana. I'm sure he would have scored a haul in that match for sure. Arsenal dodgy at the back, as we've been saying all season. And he just had to buy a ticket. As Lee from FPL Family said, buy a ticket and just hope it comes in. And obviously people bought the Aguero ticket, won the lottery. Monday night didn't help. West Ham drew with Liverpool 1-1. Mane scoring again, one of my rivals had. Salah with nothing. Robertson with nothing. And just to put the knife in a little bit further, Felipe Anderson, who I transferred out after 5 blanks in a row. I mean, that's pretty patient, to be fair. Went and got an assist and bonus points, got 8 points. So I was down by about 6 points with those transfers. At least I didn't take any hits. And then obviously the week rounded off with Sane playing midweek against Everton. So I thought there was a chance to get some places back here. And of course he got subbed 59th minute. Laporte scoring again. That people brought in Laporte, fair play, brilliant. A goal, an assist, and a clean sheet. 20 points overall. Great effort. And Jesus coming off the bench to get a goal. So that was game week 25, double game week. I think I mentioned on the pod a couple of weeks ago, if Brighton had won their FA Cup match, then Chelsea might have had a double game week in this game week, which would have meant the spread of players managers bringing different players from City, Everton, Chelsea. I'd already had my Chelsea players and Everton players covered. Would have brought in a Sane type person, so that would have failed still, but would have looked to triple captain Hazard probably, and obviously delivered against Huddersfield. I think he probably would have delivered against Brighton as well. That's just the way it goes. Definitely will be looking back at that in sort of an end of season review, and I think that could be a bit of a turning point in the season, that Brighton not winning that FA Cup match, and Chelsea not having that early double game week, and City having the double game week, which wasn't in my plans at all. So, yeah, that's game week 25, we move on to game week 26. A little talk now in terms of transfers. So, my plan was always to try and roll a transfer in this game week if I could. That's still the plan. Haven't got any, in my starting 11, haven't got any injury concerns. Danny Ings, who's first sub on my bench, looks to be out for a couple of weeks, so he probably wouldn't come in if I needed a sub. But I've got Bednarek, second sub. Southampton, Cardiff at home, possibility of a clean sheet there, so it's not a bad first sub to have. So I think I'm just going to roll the transfer. Now, of course, I've got a Chelsea and City player head-to-head this game week in Hazard and Sane. Who knows if Sane plays? Hazard certainly will. Wouldn't put it past him to score a goal against City, to be honest. So I don't mind them being in the team. And I think the best fixture of the weekend, or the best two, would be Bournemouth away at Liverpool. Obviously, I've got Salah. And Manchester United away to Fulham. Could be plenty of goals in for United there. And I've got Pogba and Rashford. So I feel quite confident, happy to have those players. The only player that I'd say would be missing from my team that a lot of managers will have is Aubameyang, and Arsenal away to Huddersfield. So could be a lot of goals in that game. We'll see if he punishes me. The last few weeks, I've seemed to get punished by the one player I don't have in my team. Again, as we always say, you can't have everyone, but it does feel like each week I do seem to get hit quite bad by not having the one player who absolutely smashes it, as in Aguero in game week 25. So we'll see what Aubameyang does. He's yellow flagged at the moment, does have a bit of an illness. I think he'll probably play. So if you've got him, you've definitely got to stick with him. It may mean that a few Aguero owning managers might not make the switch to Aubameyang now. They'll have to wait and see if we get any more information on whether he starts or not. But quite happy, really, to roll the transfer. And then going into that blank game, week 27, I've got 2 transfers to make. I'll be shipping out 2 of my either Everton, Chelsea or City players. May even take a hit, depending on whether Danny Ings is back fit, because if he's not, I could go down to only having starting 10 players, which wouldn't be great. So potential of a -4, sort of mini wild card there, making 3 changes. We'll have to see. But the good thing is as well about rolling this transfer is that FA Cup is next week. So it's 2 weeks until the next game week. And so I'll have 2 free transfers. If there's any big injuries or anything too crazy happens, I can make an early transfer in the knowledge that I've still got 1 transfer left to go. So I think that's the safest play. Again, safety I've been doing for the last few weeks, and it's not really been paying off, so maybe I should take more risks. But I'm sure at the point you think, screw it, I'll make some risky moves now, is the exact point where you should play safe. So, going to play safe, keep with my starting 11, and roll the transfer. In terms of my captain's pick this game week, no other option than Salah. Liverpool, home to Bournemouth. Salah scored a hat-trick away at Bournemouth. That was, if you remember, back in game week 16, I think it was. And that was when I kept him in my team, where a lot of people transferred him out. And I captained him. Yeah, game week 16, he got 21 points. And that was my best ever single game week, if you remember, getting 105 points that week. So good memories from Salah playing Bournemouth. Only option for me, captain. You could potentially look at United, Pogba, Rashford, possible options there, but got to go with the home player. Not been, last couple of games, not been quite there, Salah, but he was the same before he played Bournemouth away last time and got the hattie. So, captain Salah, 100% this game week. So, looking as a little preview of game week 26 and how my squad is shaping up. Fabianski in goal, West Ham away to Crystal Palace. Palace don't score a lot of goals, though new signing Batshuayi looks pretty decent. So, there's a potential of a clean sheet there, but he always gets saves points, so pretty happy to have him as my goalkeeper set and forget. Robertson, home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth, a pretty decent attacking side, although didn't score any goals away to Cardiff last game week. So, and Callum Wilson is out injured at the moment. So I fully expect points coming from Robertson. Doesn't blank twice in a row that often. Could definitely be clean sheet and attacking points there. Wan-Bissaka, as we already mentioned, Crystal Palace at home to West Ham. Again, West Ham don't score a whole lot of goals. I'm not sure if Arnautovic is back, but you definitely get clean sheet points there. And Wan-Bissaka's a bonus magnet, so happy to have him back in the side. Doherty, Wolves at home to Newcastle. Again, Newcastle don't really score too many goals, so could be clean sheet points and attacking points there for Doherty. Luca Dean comes back into my side after his suspension. A lot of people would have got rid of him, so I'm hoping that by me keeping the faith and keeping patience with him, that Everton away at Watford could deliver some points. Watford pretty decent, again similar in the league table to Everton, but clean sheet points, attacking points, or red card points, you never know with Dean. But that's just the roller coaster you take with him. 5-man midfield, Pogba, Fulham away. Could definitely see him scoring points there. Fulham have been dreadful at the back. It's away from home, but expect points from him. Sane, who's a bit of the villain in game week 25. Hoping he doesn't do too much against Chelsea as a Chelsea fan, but we've been okay at the back. It's pretty extreme with Chelsea. Either get a clean sheet or you concede about 3 or 4 goals. So who knows with that match. Obviously I've got Hazard in that match. Fancy him to get a goal actually away at City. But you never know with Hazard. We'll just hopefully enjoy that game, and maybe that'll be a 3-1 to Chelsea. Couple of goals for Hazard and maybe a goal for Sane. I would take that for sure. Richarlison again gets a reprieve in my side. Plays his old team, Watford away. Scored against them when they played him at home. So I'm hoping he goes back to his old team and does some damage there. Ahead of game week 27 where he blanks, Everton blanks, so could be his last game for me in my side. Salah, as I mentioned already, captain Bournemouth at home for Liverpool. And up front, by himself, Rashford, Fulham away. Could definitely see him scoring goals in this match. Fancy United to go big in that one. And as I mentioned, Danny Ings first on my bench, but I think he's out for a couple of weeks, so it probably mean Bednarek. Southampton at home to Cardiff. Could be a clean sheet there, so quite happy to have him as my first sub. And so I think that's probably where I'm going to land the show. A reminder that the Game Week 26 deadline is Saturday at 11:30 a.m. So that's Saturday tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. For more info on anything featured on the show, check out the podcast Twitter account at Captain's Pick Pod. Feel free to send in any questions or topics you'd like discussed on the show. If you'd like a link for the league code for the half-season community league, or a link to the Just Giving charity page, all that will be in the description of this podcast and is also in the bio on the Twitter page. So thanks so much for listening to this in-flight podcast. I have been your captain. Good luck with Game Week 26. And until next time, it's been my pleasure to talk with you.
Captain's Pick, the FPL Podcast.